Welcome to Come to Daddy, the podcast for people who go to therapy because it's more cost-effective than paying damages. I don't want to say I've got mummy issues, but I put a nipple on a Barbra Streisand CD when I was 6. So stupid. This is what the entirety of my mornings are just coming up with this stuff. Amanda.
Here she is.
I got to say, I really am treasuring after so many months apart when I was in Australia that we get to do this in the room together.
Yes.
Oh my God, that was so comfortable for all of us. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very excited about. We've got another new venue today. We're hopping around different places.
Because no one has us back.
We, you say us, he means him.
You should see what I'm doing under this table.
No, you shouldn't. Very well, I am. And here we are. This doesn't come as naturally to me as it does to him. I've got business, you see. In fact, I tell you what my note says. My note says, turn the tables on Reuben.
Oh, my God. Do you have another table?
I'm going to ask him a couple of questions that he would normally launch at our unsuspecting guests. And I'm going to say to him, what was your childhood bedroom like, Reuben?
Ooh, in which house? Because the first one, I can tell you exactly the first one, was a bunk bed in a very slim room, and it was next to the kitchen. When my grandmother set fire to the kitchen when she tried to make chips, that meant that I had to move bedrooms. The divorce happened soon after that, so then I had to move into another flat, and that had an awful bedroom with one of those concertina doors. There's no privacy then. I think I was about maybe 11 then, so just my experimental beginnings of the wank phase. So it's very difficult to wank in a room that isn't soundproofed.
Who have we got coming on the podcast today,
No
Reuben?
one's coming on the podcast, but we have invited guests. We have two brilliant comedians. That's right, we're gendering jobs. Lawrence Fox.
He says we.
We.
He means him.
We've got two brilliant musical comedians who I've been a fan of for a very long time, and I'm really lucky because I got to be friends with them. And they have no business being friends with me because they're much funnier and much more heavily booked.
Who are they? It's Flo and Joan, everybody.
Flo and Joan.
I'm going to get
out.
Away.
Let's get into it. My guests, yes, plural, the budget has skyrocketed today, are actual sisters. Capitalising on being identical twins by being neither of those things, they've created a double act using the names of their nan and her sister. In one of their songs, they contemplate which one of them their mum prefers, so clearly we have a lot to unpack. Come to Daddy, Rosie and Nicola Dempsey, a.k.a. Flo and Joan.
Hello.
So which one of you tried to eat the other one in the womb?
I
feel like you would have eaten me and then hung out for a little bit. And
I'm a hungry girl.
I feel like that might be true, but I feel like you would have the sharper teeth.
Yes, but I'm like sharpening them for like the exact moment. Where I'm like, this isn't worth it yet. I'm going to need these later.
Terrifying.
We've never seen you before the hours of 5 p.m.
It was really fun watching you see me the first time out of makeup.
It was tough. It was hard
I
to
think
palate.
is the actual word.
Yeah.
It was almost as brutal as when I realised that Flo and Joan weren't your actual names.
And that took you a long time.
Like, really?
A really long time.
I'm still not sure which one is which two.
It speaks to you that you never even bothered to ask us if we had real names.
But I would never say, Reuben, what's your real name?
Well, I think it was maybe I don't know who.
Because it's not.
Oh.
What is your real name?
No, it is, but the last name's different. And my middle name is Raoul.
Raoul.
Reuben Raoul.
And whereas I had a what is it? A rotisserie
chicken?
No, a rotary. No, what's the thing with the R?
Oh, when you can't say the R's.
Roticism.
Roticism.
Oh, you were Reuben Raoul?
I was Reuben Wow.
Oh my God, that's adorable.
And my last name is Crumb.
Reuben Wow Kwam?
I was Reuben Wow Crumb.
Are you a character in Big Mouth? Like what?
But I was relentlessly bullied
by
everyone, including my parents.
And that's why we're here.
Yeah.
How did you win back the R's?
Like standing in front of a mirror and be like, I will get my revenge.
Oh.
I will. Reuben will have his revenge. Hey, we do a little questionnaire here, a little fast run questionnaire. So is that what I say? Yes. Quick fire answers, please. Names of parents?
Alison and Barry.
Barry
And stepdad Terry.
Barry and Terry.
Barry and Terry.
My mum had a type.
Or Bowie and Towie.
Oh, wow. Thanks. Great. I really want to be bullied on my podcast that's about healing.
I'm sorry, Reuben.
I love it. Whereabouts do they live?
Alison, Portsmouth. Barry
Liverpool.
was from Liverpool, but he's dead. So
Cool.
he's in this Portsmouth Sea.
Yeah.
He was scattered in the sea. So he lives in the sea with Ursula. and Terry also lives in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll listen to this?
Yeah.
Barry, yes.
Yeah. Through the sonar.
Yeah.
We play it when they do depth charging for the gas and oil in the North Sea.
I'm watching all of the leaves fall off of this tree one by one. I'm like, he's here. Just picking them off.
It's
Mum will
plastic.
probably listen.
She'll listen, yeah.
Yeah. If we tell her to. She don't, yeah.
I think she'll find, they often find out stuff that we're doing before we're doing it. Or
Yeah.
they'll be like, you're doing this on this day. And you're like, okay, cool, thanks.
Do you like that, or do you find it a bit unnerving?
Initially, I didn't like it, but now I know it's because they care and they are interested, which I think we are very lucky that they are that. We had one experience of it where, like, we're sort of pretty chill of, like, you don't have to come to this and you don't have to come to that and don't worry about this. Like, if something's important, we'll tell you. But they, like, do like to come to see it, like, whatever. And we only had one occasion where we had to, when we got live at the Apollo, and we sort of said to our mum, like, oh, we're going to do live at the Apollo. And that was, like, the biggest thing we had done at that point. We were like, you can come and watch it if you want. Like, we can get you tickets for it. And she was like, oh, I think I have a piano lesson that day. So, like, don't worry about me. And we were like, we're going to pull the card today, I think. Like, I think you might want to see this. And it was really funny for her to be like, to come and see us do, like, work in progress to, like, 20 people. And then when we were like, we're doing live at the Apollo, and she was like, I've got a piano lesson.
I think she just didn't know what the
what it
show
was.
was.
Yeah.
She'd never heard of it. She didn't know what it was.
What was her reaction when she saw what it was?
She said, I can't believe I would not have come to this. She was
Yeah.
blown away.
Yeah.
Especially in the early days as well, we were like, please don't turn up to this because this isn't going to be very good. Or you try and put things to the side and they're excited for you and they're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be excited. Then you have to guide them to tell them how you want them to think a little bit because they don't want to infringe or step on your toes or make you feel uncool or whatever. It took a while for us to get there. Yeah. Because we were just nervous about what we were doing for a few years anyway. We just couldn't work out what it was. We didn't want our mum to see us do something that we weren't quite sure about or whatever.
Yeah.
What do your parents do? What do Terry and
Alison.
Thank you.
Alison is now a music therapist.
Right.
She just qualified. For a few years she has been. And Terry used to be a priest.
Uh-huh. Go on.
End of thought. Full stop.
Which denomination?
Church of England.
The
Okay.
one that's slightly less worse than some
Yeah,
of
well,
the
they
other
don't
ones.
believe in magic.
Yeah. Well,
And they
quite.
do believe in divorce.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dad was a PE teacher.
A
Barry.
gym teacher.
Did you two get on as kids?
I don't think so. It
I
took
think
us a while. We were sort of pretty indifferent to each other.
The lack of certainty at every question makes me question, are you related? Have you ever met before today?
This is just an enormous scam. The whole thing.
But also not a well-organised one.
No.
It's not. There's no confidence to it.
No.
I think we put up with each other. We had quite different friends and different interests. But because we'd sit and watch like The Simpsons and stuff together. I don't really know. You'll have to ask Alison.
Right, okay, we'll get her on next week. Because this one's going downhill.
Yeah.
We in our teenage years, we got along less, but then you'd get along together. The moments where we joined were usually making fun of Mum and watching TV that we liked and films that we liked.
And what was Mum's reaction when you made fun of her?
I don't think she loved it. I think when you're a 33-year-old widow, you don't love when your children turn on you.
Maybe that's why she didn't want to come to the Apollo.
Yeah, she was like, this will come. This will fuck them up.
Was your family like a musical family?
Yeah, our mum was. Our
Yeah.
mum is a piano player. She's a really fun piano player. And she'd always play the piano. We had a piano at home. She'd always play it. So we grew up listening to music, and there was always music playing in the car. we were always around music. And
Did you grow up playing as well?
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know how old. I started piano lessons when I was like 4, which if you now hear me play the piano, you would not actually
not
believe
guess
that.
at all.
No, there's no skill whatsoever there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we sort of, and you picked it up later, right?
Yeah, I did piano a bit after you, but I gave it up.
Why did you give up piano?
I was too good.
Yeah.
I can't tell. Rosie took one exam, got like a million marks better than me, and then was like, I don't want to do this.
I took the initial one and I got 90 out of 100.
And I never got that high in any exam I ever took.
And I was like, I think Nicola needs this. I'm going to let her take this one.
You bowed out.
Yeah.
Hey, you said it was Mum's record collection that influenced you. Like, what was in it?
Blondie.
Oh, great stuff.
Cool for Cats. Do you know Cool for Cats?
No.
We used to love.
Sounds like it's spelled with a K.
I don't know if it
Into
was.
it.
It was. She just had
No,
like
it
the
wasn't.
little. Is it the 7-inch? And it was bright pink. So that
Yes.
was always the one that we were
I
like.
remember
Can we
that.
put that
We've
one
all
on?
been a victim to a bright
Yeah.
7-inch. I had to. It was right there.
You fumbled there.
You're welcome.
It would have been
Do it
better
again,
if it came
do it
out
again.
cleaner. 1 second.
That's
As
also-
most things
well,
with
there
me.
you go.
We've all been led astray by a bright pink 7-inch. Oh, very funny. So spontaneous. It's so good.
I always remember Cool for Cats came hand in hand with Hands Up, Baby,
Yeah, hands up, baby,
Hands
hands
Up.
up.
You said that your 2022 Sweet release show covered all the big topics of the day: overthinking, alien boyfriends, and the plethora of weird shit your mum keeps in her house and won't get rid of. What is some of that weird shit?
Ornaments.
Trinkets.
Yeah, things made out of china.
Ugly little statues.
Ugly little
The
statues.
show mostly revolved around one particular statue that she had.
What was it?
It was an ornament of a witch riding on a goose.
What?
A witch riding on a goose.
One more time?
Witch riding on a goose.
What?
Which the more I say it, the more I sound like you. And
Yeah.
I feel like you're stealing my soul.
That's what's happening now.
Yeah.
Under the table.
Ah.
Keep singing.
Da, da, da. And it's an ornament of a witch riding on a goose. The witch has a hole in her hat. We don't know why the witch has a hole in her hat, and it's not like a broken hole. It's an
It's a design.
intentional hole.
Is
Yeah.
it a
It's to
hang?
put
It's meant to be a
flowers.
delicate pendant?
No,
How
it's
big is this?
It's-
like the size of this cup.
Oh.
You can put flowers. You can put flowers in.
Just
the
like a
bowl.
single stem?
Yeah,
A couple, I think. Well, small.
Hey, deep and meaningful time. When did Barry die? And how?
1993.
93.
Fuck's sake.
1994.
1994. I had just turned 4 and you were 1.
Yeah,
It was
almost
the
2.
in-between period where we didn't know what our age difference was.
I was
Right.
I was a month away from 2.
He was 39.
Yeah, that's young.
Cancer.
Oh.
The big C, the classic.
God has lousy aim.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, he
He's
doesn't exist, but if he did,
Yeah.
fucking terrible
Shithead.
aim.
Yeah. Not
Come
ideal.
on.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that was.
Mm.
Are you getting emotional, Reuben? You're trying to
I
empathise.
found one. Found one deep in the recesses.
Gotcha.
I would imagine at that age you wouldn't really have a lot of memories.
No.
Or none.
No, it was most of our memories are from photos and videos.
Mm.
Like I know what his voice is, but only from videos.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
a second memory, a
Yeah.
second-hand memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I maybe have like a couple more, but not anything like significant enough that you like just,
Mm.
nothing
Was there any
really.
kind of feeling of how do I say this? How do I say it? It's like a good question, but
Does it feel gross to have a sincere conversation with us for the first time in your life?
I have never been so flaccid in all my life.
Good.
Yeah. Why are you stepping on my dream? To be erect at all times and talk about dead fathers. Were you raised with sort of an idea of him, or was he a presence in your upbringing, even though he was like dead when he died when you were so young?
I think so, yeah. Like we were still, his parents and his family like lived in Liverpool, so we would always go up and see them and stuff.
Right.
And there were like always pictures around the house and that kind of stuff. So like, yeah, it wasn't like, okay, we're just going to pretend this man doesn't exist. Like it was,
Yeah, it was pretty good without being too full on. I'd
Yeah.
say.
yeah, it wasn't you didn't walk around being like, hi, my name's Nicola and my dad is dead. But I do that now as an adult.
I
but-
was about to say that feels like you're opening when you're booking a table at a restaurant
Yeah.
just to get a window seat.
Also, I think even before I've said anything, you're like, her dad's dead, for sure.
You give off a dead dad vibe.
Yeah. And
It's all
she's
the
excited
blankets
to
are
tell
having
you.
like she's
Yeah.
she's excited.
She's waiting.
Yeah. Just waiting for you to say something really nice so she can come in and
Yeah.
cut.
FYI.
When did Terry come into the picture?
I was 12. No, it would have been before that because they got married when I was 12.
I think I remember being in year 6. So the memory is blurry, but I remember being in year 6 and thinking about it.
Yeah, I was in year 7 when they got married.
Oh, then it would have been quite a lot earlier for me then.
Well, like 2 years younger.
Who cares?
Fucking hell.
I can't take this. This is so bizarre. It's like I'm being gaslit into thinking you're 12 still.
What is happening is every time we open our mouths to say anything, we're already repressing it. We're already like, I don't need this.
Are you two in any kind of therapy?
You've done some.
I've done some.
Yeah?
We're
Any
waiting.
survivors?
And I go and watch musicals.
Too many survivors.
Oh, yeah, and that's definitely the same thing, and as good as.
I cried when Bernadette Peters sang Losing My Mind last night, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah.
something to project onto. There's no transference there.
Not one bit.
Why did you choose to name yourselves after your aunt and her friend?
It really was a split decision.
It was our Nan and her sister.
Nan and sister. They were friends.
Well, I
That's
thought
what-
it was aunt and friend.
Aunt and Nan.
Nan.
Aunt and Nan. Oh,
Barry's
aunt and
mum was
Nan.
Flo.
Mm-hmm.
Barry's auntie was Joan.
Yeah, I'm not that interested. But no, why them?
It was a split decision that...
What do you mean a split decision?
Like, when the first time we did a show, someone was like, how do you want us to introduce you on stage? And we were like, oh my God, I didn't... Nicola and Rosie, and they were like, that sounds bad.
No, we said that sounds bad.
Oh,
not
yeah.
They were thinking it and we said it.
And we went Flo and Joan. Flo and Joan used to come and stay with us all the time. And you always hear mum say, oh, Flo and Joan are coming down, or we're going to go see Flo and Joan. Like, Flo and Joan was just like their title. It was just their thing. We were like, Flo and Joan's got a great ring. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was also like a cute, like, oh, they're sisters, we're sisters, blah, blah, blah.
Great
And
aunt.
then, yeah, great aunt.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and it just kind of stuck. We never changed it. And then
Yeah. We never thought
Have
about
they
it.
come to the show?
Flo is no longer with us, and Joan, I think it's probably not really her vibe.
Oh, yeah. Does she know? Did they
yeah,
know in
she
their
does
lifetime?
know. Yes.
I don't think Flo didn't. Flo had died before we started,
Mm-hmm.
but Joan does.
She has our poster up
she's
in
got
her
a
room.
poster in her room.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Hmm.
That kind of stuff.
And so she's vibing with it.
She's vibing with it, yes.
Yeah.
I don't like that phrase. So she's happy about it.
Yes. She always seems joyful when we talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
You are almost at the end of this. You almost get to leave and not be scrutinized or talked to. And you can return to the dark place where once you came from.
The womb.
Where you two can battle it out for nutrients, swapping the umbilical
Yeah.
You can
cord.
tell which one got more.
Well, I just feel like even then, I think even though there's a 2, possibly 6-year age difference between you two, you definitely still shared the same umbilical cord and womb space.
That's why we do musical comedy.
Yeah. No one in their right mind is doing musical comedy.
But we've got a couple of little last hurdles for you to jump. And I know you love
My name's
athletics.
What?
That didn't make sense, don't worry.
That's okay. We'll cut it out.
I just was you know what? My brain like jumped 3. I got hit by a bike once and I saw the bike coming and my instinct was to ball up into the floor. So I like dropped to the floor and basically turned myself into a speed bump and he rode over my forehead. So I had like a tire print on my head.
What does this have to do with the hurdles?
It's because you said hurdle, speed bump. It doesn't matter.
You said my name's Nicola.
Yeah, because you said we've got a few more hurdles to jump over. I was, you know what?
Oh,
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't
that's
matter.
not
jumping over. Oh, I see.
It's not a good use of our time to unpack why this joke didn't work.
No, this
for
is
me.
actually the funniest part of this
Yeah,
podcast
You used a
right
very
now.
personal reference to make a very broad joke.
Also, you've revealed a lot of like cranial trauma, which explains a lot.
It explains the act.
Explains why you don't blink as
These
well.
glasses have just got eyes painted on them. They're not, they're not my eyes.
I just assumed,
They're like
I
comedy
assumed Rosie
glasses.
had to just kind of pipette tears in so you don't dry out.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah.
Hey, before we let you go, and we can go back to your enclosure where your handler can feed you more frozen rats,
Thank you.
I'll never get
We look
this.
forward to seeing you later.
We have a thing here called the pick and mix. Pick and mix, pick and mix. It's time for us to do pick and mix. Where you dip your hand into the sweetie jar of childhood experience and pick the banana of trauma. Family hellholes.
Got any recollections of family vacations?
Do you want to go first?
The holiday one that I remember is
1 second. You've chosen family hellholes, Rosie. Go.
as in HOLES.
Yeah.
What other kind of holes?
Holiday.
Holiday.
Oh, I see.
It was she making a pun about like
Understood.
holidays and anal.
Look, neither of our jokes are popping off today. It's
No,
okay.
it's okay.
Yours, I think yours have been. Anyway,
I deliberately get guests that underperform so I seem more.
This must be torture for you because you're having to fight 2 people for attention today.
I think this whole podcast is torture for whoever is editing it. No one else.
Do you know what's
We're all
funny?
fine.
These aren't even on.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
All of this is just...
That's how much you want to hang out with us. You have to do it under the pretense of work.
We'll go for a drink, just ask.
Can we please? Please come hang out with me in my basement.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm choosing holiday, family holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So the one I remember is when our stepdad came onto the scene. He was a priest, which wasn't that great for us. No kid wants their mum to marry a priest, and we were always like team dad. He's your dad, so we were like, Mum, there's no way you can marry someone else. There's dad, and he's gone. So it's just you and me and Nicola now, Mum. No one else. Mm-hmm. And to get us on board with the idea that they might get married, they took us to Disneyland Paris. And we weren't really our holidays were always like caravan holidays. And they took us to Paris to be like...
big expense.
We're going to be a family now.
Yeah.
Look, here's Disneyland. Smile.
Nothing says family like watching Mickey Mouse surrender to the Nazis.
And I think they were just trying to keep the spirits up. It was a really great holiday. And our mum wanted a photo with the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. And so our mum went off and tried to get the photo. We were like, cool, Mum, we don't need the photo. We'll just be off over
I
here.
think it was like on like a certain afternoon or a certain evening, they just release all the characters into the wild. And I think some of them try and escape, but most of them just have to sign autographs and stuff. And so everyone just goes out like chasing their favourite character around.
That would be the
park.
dream.
Yeah. And our mum she pursued the Queen of Hearts because we were like a big Alice in Wonderland family. And we had fucked off somewhere else. Anyway, continue.
And then 10 minutes later, we cut back and we're like, where's Mum? Where's Mum? She's being chased around the roundabout by the Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts made her run round the roundabout 3 times while she chased Mum.
And she was stood there with her like big white gloves counting down how many times she'd done it, like raising her fingers as like all these other people were like, why is this woman in an anorak doing laps around the roundabout?
Being chased by...
But also independently, it's not like it was for her kids.
Well,
you weren't there.
I think it was for us, but she assumed that we would...
Watching?
We're watching.
Well,
and
we'd gone on to eat
off?
pancakes
Literally
somewhere
that.
or something. And so she made Mum, to get the photo, she made Mum run around 3 times.
What photo was she getting? A neck and neck finish?
She was looking for toes over the line. Yeah. And then,
By the way, sports references from us 3.
Yeah, honestly.
Outrageous.
and then she eventually, so she got the photo after 3 runs around the roundabout. Then when my mum got the camera developed, the photo was full blurry.
We were in it. We turned up in time to be like, what the fuck is this woman up to?
And Mum was like, quickly get in the photo, quickly.
And it was entirely indistinguishable. You couldn't tell who was in it.
Have you now got it blown up and framed?
We should do, actually. We should
should
put it on a throw cushion.
Yeah. All that to make us like a stepdad.
Yeah, I don't know where he was.
God. When did you actually start liking stepdad?
We always liked him.
I think it's a bold move to try and integrate yourself into a family where your 2 daughters are about to become teenagers.
Yeah.
So that's not an easy... You're not coming in at the good times there.
My stepsister was 12 or 11 when my stepmom and dad got together. And she was like a flannel wearing grunge.
Yeah.
Kind of full screaming parts of, you're not going out of the door wearing that. I'll wear what I want, Mum. You look like a tramp. You're killing me. I'm running away and I'm going to take heroin.
Yeah.
Slamming doors. I'm like, I don't know which one is which at this point. It was amazing.
Yeah,
and my poor dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't imagine you 2 being very tantrumy, just very icy.
We were
You went
sulky.
quite emo-y.
I was like pretty emo-y.
You were pretty eyeliner under and...
Yeah. Big baggy trousers and all that shit.
Yeah.
We would probably just went a bit more quiet.
I think we were pretty aggy. Like we'd shout. But I think we were more moody than aggressively like, you're not my dad and all that kind of shit.
That feels consistent.
Yeah. I'm just, yeah.
Imagine working with it.
I've never met 2 people who are more comfortable in an awkward silence.
Thank you.
No, it's so unfair. You have chosen It's So Unfair.
I have. Well, related to that, It's So Unfair was them getting married.
Oh, big call.
Big call because of our stepdad's job, it meant that we had to move into his house because
Next to the church?
next to the church. And it wasn't just like down the road. It was in, so we used to live in like Portsmouth, which is like a big city.
Well, we had to move to this village.
Yeah,
We used
you
to
got
live in this
married.
big-
You had to move to this
But
village.
it was a teeny tiny like Midsummer Murders village away from our family, away from like none of our friends lived there. It was like what you see in like a Miss Marple or something like that. It was so teeny tiny.
And were you living sort of in an annex to the church? Like, was that kind of...
There
Sort
was
of
like,
just across the road.
yeah, the
wasn't it?
church
just
was
across
like
the
the big
road.
church, and then we had like the house that was just down
So
the road.
you can't walk on consecrated ground.
Oh, we did.
That's why I've got no footprints on the bottom of my feet. They've all just been burnt off.
See it all.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just
a nightmare for a teenager moving to a town, loads of posh people that we didn't understand, and we didn't have any friends there. All of our friends lived ages away, so.
And we had to
hard.
like do loads of stuff because we were like the vicar's children.
Oh, no,
so you just had to do all of that kind of shit.
You had to be examples.
Yeah.
Because everything reflected back on...
Yeah, and you have to go to stuff that you don't want to go to. You've got to like enter like they had
You don't
always
like
had like
doing anything.
I hate all of that stuff, but you couldn't be like, no, fuck off, I'm not going to do this. Like you just had to do it.
Were there debates about religion in the household between you two and him?
Yeah, all the time. He's a really good debater. He's very
Open-minded.
very
cool
open-minded. The amount of times we would probably scream, "Jesus isn't real." He was like, "Yeah, maybe Jesus wasn't real."
We used to go into his study and change in the days of like scrolling screensavers. Would go in and change his screensaver to like Jesus thinks you're an asshole or whatever, or like Satan's watching you, and he'd be doing like a funeral meeting for people or whatever, and then the screensaver would just come across. Because we were very fun, like 12-year-olds. So he was like very, very calm and patient with us.
Yeah.
But also like knowing that they'd like absolutely uprooted us into the arse end of nowhere. And like you couldn't, they were like, we used to like we'd have hobbies and stuff in Portsmouth that like, it just wasn't feasible to do those things anymore and that kind of stuff. So it was like I think like a pretty fair like back and forth or whatever, but.
Last thing that you two have to face, and it's called Shall I Be Mother? Shall I Be Mother?
That sounds horrible.
It's awful, isn't it? I've got to be topless for this because you need a nipple each.
I'm not sure.
No, you get to look into my eye.
You get the left one this time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well,
We're
I'll try
swapping over.
this time. I pretend, imagine, visualize that I am your mum, your father or your stepfather, or a horrible, weird carnival mirror stitching together of the three. What would you say to me? Look into my eyes.
I just don't like that.
I know.
Thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Thanks for all.
I've never wanted to shut my eyes in this moment with other people. You know, Rosie Jones was like really genuine and lovely about this. And you've made it seem like a curse from a haunted Victorian doll.
We're holding hands under the table. Did you know that?
Yeah, but all your hands are on above the table now. And you've
My
still
toes are facing backwards.
All right, you two possessed demons. Thank you for coming to Daddy.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for having us
Oh,
on the Daddy
God,
Talk.
this is-
Sorry, thank you for having
This
us
is
on
such a hot mess.
Oh.
Where can listeners and watchers get more of you?
The Seventh Circle of Hell will be inside of it.
Yeah.
Or Instagram at floandjoan.com.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Anything at floandjoan.com is us.
Hey, you two, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope this was okay.
That's a great end. That's what we need. I hope this was okay.